Hey everybody. First off, I'd like to start the show by thanking Tide We for paying for the show. So in this week's show, I want to talk about a couple of things. Number one, how do you get on big bucks late season fast? And that's something I'm surprised more people aren't interested in, more people don't do, because late season hunting can be great. The second lesson we're going to learn in this video is about being able to rise above bad things. Bad things happen to all of us. Everybody has, a hiker walk underneath them when they're hunting. Everybody has somebody drives through the land on an ATV or something. Things happen. They happen to all of us. I'm sure you remember a video from a couple years back when somebody came wandering through while I was hunting, yelling my name, and they were calling a dog by the same name as me. Those things happen. But what you have to do as a hunter is be able to rise above them. So let's take a look at some of the problems I had this last week. Well, I'm trying and racing to get it done before this season ends. And really coming down to the last couple days I can hunt. And let's look at how I handled it and how I overcame my problems and the methods I used to get onto bucks quick and get back into action. So I was hunting the Conservancy quite a bit. I knew of some big bucks in there. I had them on camera. I knew the area they were in and wanted to go back in after them in late season. I got in there after not being in there for a while and had to figure out where the deer were again. But when I got there, I ran into an unexpected problem. It's a cold one today. Snowed all night last night, so there ain't much for fresh tracks. Be hard to get on sign. Trouble with this cold weather is I'm packing in so far, and I'm dressed for cold weather, and I'm gonna overheat. I'll have to take a lot of breaks. Well, that's a decent buck track. Look at that. And it's fresh. Wonder where he is. This is crazy. All the buck tracks back here are running. They're very fresh. And they got hound tracks following them. I hear hounds howling. You hear it? And there's blood on the tracks. Great. Holy crap. You're gonna ruin my hunt on me. You're going zigzagging through here everywhere. There's running deer tracks, and there's those hound tracks everywhere, and those hound tracks are huge. There's a long walk back here. Got a little sweated up. Hopefully I don't get too cold. I don't think I will. It's halfway decent temperatures out here. The wind's kind of fickle, blowing all over the place. So, but the worst thing is, there's a pack of hounds out here chasing the deer, and they've been through everything. I've walked about a mile to get back here, and the hound tracks were all the way back here and still go back further. And all the deer tracks I'm seeing are running. It stopped snowing this morning, so they've run all the deer out of the bedding areas. And the hound tracks are going up and down the deer trails like they know them. Even when they're not on deer tracks, they're on the deer trails, going in and out of the bedding areas. So those hounds have probably been back here before. So I don't know how that's going to affect movement, but I know I'm in a good spot. We'll see. Last I heard of the hounds, they're about 3/4 of a mile that way, back towards the truck. So, I wish people could control their dogs. Doesn't help too. The neighbor over here has had the surveyors in and surveyed the borderline, the property line. So I'm sure that messed up travel a little bit too. So we'll see what happens. I did see a lot of big buck tracks back that way. And with those hounds running around, maybe they'll come through this way. It's kind of a funnel this way, so maybe. We'll see. The wind's kind of fickle. Get down to the wire here though. See, look, there's a good trail coming through here. And another one there. They meet there and they go back through here and back off that way. There's some really good trails that come through right here. And they'll go through this little funnel here. And we got a heavy trail coming through right here that I didn't notice till I got to the tree. This is kind of where everything meets. I hunted this area one time earlier in the year, right over there, about 75, 100 yards. And the day I hunted there, I passed a nice 8-pointer. We'll see. Just sitting here and out of the blue, 5 does ran by. So, you think that maybe these dogs, it's a one-time problem. Somebody let their dogs get through there. It was an accident. It won't happen again, kind of thing. And, you stand up, you brush yourself off, and you go back out there and you hunt again. That's a decent track. It stopped snowing about, I want to say 2 hours ago. And there's no snow in that track that's fresh. He's right around here somewhere. That's a 4-finger track. That's a pretty good one. Seven more days left, and then the season's over. I'm way, way, way back in the swamp. We got a bizarre east kind of wind. Where I wanted to go, there was footprints of people walking, dogs chasing deer and stuff, and not much sign. And I decided to go way back here. I followed some sign back, and I even found human tracks back here, and I'm way, 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 way back. But there's human tracks 100 yards behind me going crosswise. But there is a couple good trails out here, and the swamp in front of me looks like good bedding. Hope I didn't make too much noise getting in here. It's dead quiet out here, and I guess it depends on how close the deer are bedded. That's kind of the swamp where I'm thinking they're coming from. I would expect them to be more from those tamarack pines over there. But there's a good trail going through right here. There's a good trail going through right there. There's a good trail going through over there. And it was either hunt here or go back home. And I don't think this is that bad. It could pan out. Can you hear that? Them damn dogs. The last 2 times I've been here, there's been a pack of hounds out here chasing the deer around. They're here again. Hope they don't come back here. All the tracks are in zones where I can't hunt back here by the truck. Looks like a nice buck crossed the bridge this morning. It snowed not too long ago, so it's pretty fresh. Hope the dogs leave me alone. just keeps getting better. So I don't know if you can hear the dogs in the background howling. We've only got 6 days left to hunt. I'm at the Conservancy. I had an area I thought I'd get it done, and I been patterning some deer there. We finally got the right wind. I came out and I got here. I got a sinking feeling because I could hear hounds back there. Yesterday, hear them? Yesterday I came back and I hunted a different area, but same Conservancy, and ran into hound tracks and human tracks. But coming out, I saw where a bunch of deer, including some good buck tracks, came out of a corner, and I thought, man, I think I can come back here tomorrow and kill one, which is today. So I came back and I went over to that corner, and I was trying to pick out a tree, and also I saw tracks. So I walk over there, bunch of hound tracks and some human tracks, really fresh. Then I heard the hounds sound off in front of me. And the thing that was getting me is they didn't really look like hound tracks. They looked like dog tracks. One of them was real big, like a St. Bernard. I mean, a track like this. So I got on the track and I followed it down, and I caught up to the guy. And he had gone through everything that I wanted to hunt, all the bedding areas and stuff. I caught him going on to the next property, about a 65 or 70-year-old guy. And I says, "You the one walking through all this stuff where I'm bow hunting?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm coyote hunting. I can't help where the dogs go." I said, "Well, you don't have to coyote hunt during bow season, but anyway, I'm done here if he's coyote hunting. I'm gonna have to move on to something else." It is private land, but I don't own the land, and I can't tell him he can't go on it. Only the people that own the Conservancy can do that. I worked all summer and donated a couple $100 to get my name in a hat for a drawing to hopefully get picked for that spot, to have this happen. But that's the nature of the game, and I'll just keep smiling. I think God must have it intended for me to wait till the last day. I'm having fun anyways, but back to the public land again. Been seeing a lot of sign over there. Keep wanting to check tracks, and every time I'm gonna, it snows, and snow covers the tracks. But tomorrow and Sunday, I'm diving in hard. Time to get serious. After talking to the coyote hunter, I was convinced this is over. I mean, he's been through the bedding areas and stuff in my area. I don't think I can get it done in there when he's walked through the same bedding area several days in a row. I don't think that buck's going to bed there anymore. He's got areas he can go to where where he's not. And it even explained something to me. I was seeing very little deer sign back there, but a whole bunch of sign up in units where I couldn't hunt up near my truck. Deer hunting, bow hunting pressure had gone way down, but this aggressive coyote hunting was going way up. At some point in time, a guy's got to be able to cut his losses and go someplace else. Now, there are those hunters who put all their eggs in the same basket and always hunt the same property no matter what's going on. I'm not one of those hunters. I go to where the action is. I go to where the big bucks are. I go find them. I go hunt them down. Hunt them down and kill them. That's what I do. So I decided to get outside of that little box that I really wanted to get in that Conservancy. Just dump it. Walk away. Cut your losses. I've only got a few days left. Better to start from scratch than to try to make something failed work, in my opinion. So I made a plan. I was going to go out and I'm going to go hit the public land, and I'm going to take a day of scouting. Get in there hard. Hit property after property after property, track down these deer. I got snow on the ground. Follow their tracks back to where they came from. Hunt them down and kill them. And it's an easy tactic anybody can do. Look for road crossings. I mean, you got crops on one side of the road, public land on the other. Deer crossing from public to swamp, or public to food. It's pretty simple, but nobody's doing it. I mean, I just drive down main roads where everybody else drives, and they're not noticing the tracks. I am. So I'm getting on bucks that way. So let's take a look at a day of chasing those bucks by patterning them, hunting them down. And keep in mind, this might be my last full day to hunt. I don't have much time left here. Probably going to get a day off during the week here, maybe. And then we're going to have to look at the weather if the snow gets crunchy or whatever. But take a look at how I handle this and how I go after these bucks. Oh. So the season's coming to an end here. We got, what is it, 5 more days left.
Yep.
And it's been pretty rough recently. Some deer I was going after in the Conservancy. Dog coyote hunters have been going in there and they've been trespassing onto the properties that I'm hunting, and they've just kind of ruined it over there, and I've just given up. So now I'm down to 5 days, and it's really this weekend, because after this weekend I got to go back to work, and Friday it closes. I might get one more day during the week, but this is really an all or nothing, and I don't have anything really going. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to go get on them. So I got Rick along, and the two of us are going to come out here. We're checking road crossings, coming in and out of private crops and public properties, and we're finding tracks, and we're going to track those tracks down, see where they come from, and if there's a good setup. And we're going to try and get ourselves in a good position for at least today, and hopefully make a last-minute kill ditch effort. Is what it is. But you know, when you back me to the wall, and you know, you have some of them bad hunts, that burns that fire underneath me and really gets me motivated. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna ruin my hunt? I'll show you.
No way.
Right. Let's go kill that buck. Let's do it.
In my case, it'll be a doe.
Right, but let's get it done. The thing about the snow is, it's been snowing, it was supposed to stop this morning, I thought, but it snowed all day, so it's kind of snowed into tracks. I don't know if we'll be able to determine, you know, buck versus doe kind of thing, but we should be able to find masses of tracks, and the deer should be grouped up, and some bucks should be grouped with them. So let's just go get at them. This spot up here, there's some crop fields on this side, and that side's public. And in the morning, I've been seeing deer go through, going back into the public. In the evening, just after dark, I've been seeing them going into there. And there's been tracks covering this crop field like crazy. So we're gonna see if there's tracks in here now. Going back, it's gonna be hard to see. It's been snowing all night and day, but I think the snow's been laxed enough since morning that we should be able to hit some tracks if there's deer through there around gray light this morning. And then we can try and cut them off and see where they're coming from. So here's the spot. These fields back in here, this is all cattails, but it's private. Where the deer have been crossing is right up here. So I just want to see if there's tracks coming out of here into these fields here. So, what's your side? See if you see any trails coming out. Oh, here's tracks right here.
Yeah, I saw some too.
Yeah, there's a good set of tracks right there. There's a set of tracks. Okay. There's a trail there. Yeah, there's definitely some deer going through here. Here's a good one too. All right, so we'll go into public over here and we'll see. There's two places those deer could be coming from. They could be coming from a cattail patch right here, or they could be coming from further back in a swamp. So we gotta kind of cut the tracks back here and determine that. Check what the wind is doing. I'm imagining it's a southwest wind, but I'm not positive.
I can look.
All right, let's see if we can even get into the parking lot. Look at this. We're gonna have a hard time pulling into that.
Yeah.
So the tracks that we seen crossing the road are over there, coming through here. There's a small swamp right here. Then over this hill is a large swamp. Wind feels like it's going like this. So I really don't want to go to that side unless I determine they're in there. First I want to check and see if they're coming through all the way, and I think they probably are coming from way in the back, because this is kind of open for right now, but they could be right here. They've been here in the past. The snow is still real soft, and that's the thing too. It's kind of warm right now. It's probably 35 degrees. Come tonight or the next night when it gets cold, this stuff's going to get crunchy. Right now it's soft.
Oh.
30 yards from the truck, and there's a deer trail coming from over there. It goes along the road. It goes into a thick spot over here. They're really snowed in though. Rick pointed out that they look older, and they do. They don't look as fresh as the ones we saw by the road. But I don't know if it's because it's more open over here and they blew in. But we're going to go down further and check for tracks and then come back and see if we find fresher ones or not. Or
Yeah.
if not, maybe we'll poke around over here and see where they're coming from. Because if they're coming from over here, it's real easy. That's a real small spot. They got to be coming out right on the other side of those trees. But let's see if there's fresher tracks further back.
Okay.
We're still 75 yards from the truck, and this is the 4th or 5th trail we ran into going into that bedding area. I think that's where they're at. What do you think?
I think they're bedding it right now.
Yeah, well, we're going to look a little further, but that's where I see the most sign.
You're going to get one back. Okay.
So here's another deer trail with fresh tracks on it, going right to that same area. Another one over there, going right over there. That's
like,
not where I would have expected them, but it is a spot where we've ran into good bucks and lots of deer bedding in the past. And that's an easy setup if that's where they're at.
it's like the 5th one we've seen going there.
There's more than that. I mean, this is 2 tracks. I mean, when you add up all the tracks that run those trails, there's got to be 15, 20 sets of tracks going in there. It's looking good.
Yeah.
Let's just look a little further at, I think we know where they're at.
Okay.
Here's a fresher track, again, going right in there. Looks like either an adult doe or a small buck, probably an adult doe. Going right in there, same spot.
Yeah, they
And that's got to be only a couple hours
Exactly.
old. That's real fresh. You know, with the snow that we've been having, that's real fresh. Okay, so where we saw the tracks out of the truck, where I've been seeing all the deer crossing the road, is directly in line with them. All those trails were going on an angle like this, which made me think they're either in these cattails or beyond. Now beyond the cattails over here, there's no tracks. All the tracks are going through there, which makes it makes sense because it's in line with where we're seeing those tracks. So the deer that are crossing that road are coming out of that patch. So we're going to backtrack now, pay a little more attention to the wind, and try and get close enough to figure out a setup. And look at the cattails. It's all dead zone. Those deer are piled up into this brush pile here somewhere. It's interesting how they're right alongside the road now that late season's come and there isn't no pressure back here. There ain't one human track in the snow anywhere. So that's where they're at. And it looks like the tracks actually cut way further towards the road and along it. So we're gonna have to look around down there for where to set up.
That looks big.
It's 3 fingers. That might be a shooter. And he's going right into the bedding area. And that's this morning. He went in there this morning.
Yes, he did.
Nice. You can see where the does are feeding on the brush right here. So you can see where the does are feeding on the brush right here, feeding on this stuff, the dogwood. That tells me that they're coming out here kind of staging about dark before they go to that open field, which means a little bit further back and we're going to get on them. I know from past history, there's a big tall tree. You probably can't pick it up on camera, but you see it by eye. Kind of jagged, about 150 yards that way, far out as you can see.
Yeah, I see it.
There's some giant beds right underneath that, and these might be heading there, so we got to get set up between here and there.
Okay.
So the buck tracks come from that way, the doe tracks come from that way. They all meet right here. I like that tree right there, but it's got some bad wind advantage. It'd be nice if there's a tree right here. This is where you guys gotta be though.
You have to be a little further over this way. You're not. That's the problem.
Bed's right where that tree is. The tall tree is where the beds start. So you gotta be real careful on noise. Just for the knack of setup, we're gonna have to just move a little forward yet. If we spook them, we spook them.
Okay.
There he goes. There he goes. He was in the bed, I thought. See him jumping?
Yep.
They were right under that tree, like I said.
Dang, dude, you were right on.
So I said they'd be right underneath that tree. That's where we jumped them. But there really was no place to set up. If we would have had a setup back here, those were dead deer.
Yeah.
So
Wind.
it looked like there was one that had a rack that I would have shot for sure. And then there was a couple big does.
I saw a big doe, that's all I saw.
I saw a rack come up and go off that way, and then the does hop over that way.
Dang.
But they were right underneath that tree where I said they'd be.
And the wind's not in our favor.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If we would have had like a south wind, we'd be in that tree, they'd be dead.
Yeah.
It's just the look of the draw. But it is what it is. Let's go over there and look at the beds once. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So we got in here, one jumped from underneath the bed right here. And here's the buck bed I was talking about right here. And this is the tree.
The crooked tree.
The tree I pointed out from the way up on the hill and said that's where they'll be bedding. Here he is. Here's his track. The track we're looking at. And what we tried to do is get close enough where we would have a wind advantage. We wanted to set up over here. We got into about 50, 75 yards. We're trying to be quiet, but we jumped him. So I saw his rack get up and go that way, and then a bunch of does and stuff jumped up all in the perimeter beds and took off. And when we got here, another one jumped up right here. But that's it. I mean, it's a game of inches. And if you're too far back, you're not going to get them. And if you're, if you got the wrong wind, you're not going to get them. It just didn't work out. So now we got to go scout another spot, get into some more action, and try to make that happen. And if we had more time with this wind, we would have probably been better off backing off, coming back another day when we had the right wind. But we're to the point of, do or die.
Yeah.
This is our last weekend. So we had to make an aggressive move. We did it. They were exactly where we thought they'd be. But it just the wrong wind. We tried to push it, tried to get a setup in here. And from this view, we wouldn't have been able to set up right there. They just saw us climbing. It just is what it is.
Yep.
The tree I picked out back there, that would have been perfect, but the wind was wrong. That would have been a kill for sure. This is what it is. I mean, it wasn't a giant buck, but he had an 8 or 10 point rack. It was, at this point, I'd shoot him.
That doe that was with him was a very mature doe.
Yeah, she was pretty big. I saw her jumping.
Yeah.
Unless it was a shed buck.
That could be too.
But based on the tracks, I'd say there was one buck, and that's probably the one I saw.
So that spot didn't pan out, but it was exciting anyways. The deer were where we expected them. It's just a matter of getting in close enough for the setup with the wind we had, and it just didn't work. So now we're gonna go try another spot. I mean, it's kind of funny when it gets down to the wire like this, and I've been having all my hunts get screwed up like this. The other day, I went out to hunt, and I come back after some hounds and dogs screwed me up, and in the house, it's evening time, it's right about sunset, and the bow's sitting in the room next to me. I get up and look out the window, and probably 15-20 yards from my door, it's a pretty nice buck eating out of the bird feeder. I had to laugh. I told him through the window he doesn't know how lucky he is. I don't shoot yard bucks. But if I did, he was dead. Totally legal there, but not fair. But, and hell, we still got the whole rest of the season to hunt.
All of 5 days, but
Yeah, pretty much tomorrow. But let's go try another spot. I got some ideas of some swamps up ahead. And we'll check them out, see what's going on there, and maybe that'll pan out.
screw Thursday. We'll kill one today.
Right? It'll happen.
Maybe today. Maybe early. Or like last night. But
Not real fresh.
no. Not like the last one we just did.
So what'd you think of the sign at that woods? Not too good?
No, it wasn't very fresh. Like maybe last 24 hours.
Alright, well then I guess we'll put you there, and I'll go up to this next spot.
Only you, man. Only you.
This is a big public swamp. Land borders right here. Over there they got a lot of crops and even food plots for deer on the private land. And typically, the bucks and the does bed some reeds and cattails up here. And there's some really thick areas. And in the winter, they come out onto this dry land, go across this hardwood island out here, and go into private crops. So what we're going to try and do is cut a track. There was no tracks, no sign of anybody parking up in the parking area. So it looks pretty good. We just have to cut some fresh tracks back here and set up on them. So hopefully we can find something to set up on it.
Hopefully. We jumped them again.
Yeah, I think they're both does, but they. The first one could have had antlers. They're real little. There's something that I saw something there, but it might have been inside of the ear. I think they were both does. But
Yeah, I saw that too.
they were better right in here someplace, which is typical. There might be more. Let's just take a look up further. So maybe those tracks aren't as old as what we thought.
I still see them moving in there.
Do you? There might have been a lot more than we saw. I just looked up and saw a deer moving through. Could have been more than two. Let's just ease in there anyways. It's just is what it is. They probably got hit by our wind. Well, I didn't see the tracks I hoped to see down there. I thought it would be better. That area tends to hold a lot more deer. They don't seem to be in there right now, which is the thing with winter hunting, is it's hit or miss. They're either there or they're not. We did run into two does, and it would have been a good setup for Rick because he's just hunting does. He's got his buck tags filled, and once again the wind was wrong. We got too close and they jumped. But that's all we saw was the doe tracks. Yeah, it was pretty surprising. So I mean, it's starting to get late in the day now. One last ditch effort. We'll try the next spot up the road here and see if we can cut a track. We already drove around it and didn't cut anything real fresh, but we did cut tracks. So I'm pretty sure there's deer in there. Maybe we can cut a fresher track. We'll see. This way, someone down. All right, so we determined there must be some deer bedding in there. There's tracks coming out down here, tracks coming in and out down here, like crazy, and the snow's only been on the ground since morning. So we were assuming that they're probably in here.
There's some bedding back there though too, and there's a lot of trails coming in and out of there. But they seem to come up here. I think what we're going to try and do, I mean we're running out of time here.
2 o'clock.
One of us hunt up here, one of us hunt down there. We'll cut off all these trails. This don't work tomorrow, maybe we go deeper. Or maybe from down here we see deer down further, make a move tomorrow. But I think with the amount of time we got left, and without booging up the whole rest of the woods, it's probably time to set up.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and hunt this little patch here, deer coming out of it. And the wind's perfect for this one.
Yes, it is.
And there was no tracks coming in or out the other sides, so we completely circled this. Everything's coming in and out right here.
Yeah. More than one.
Yeah. Let's kill one.
I'm ready.
You're always ready.
That's true.
Ready to kill.
All
Not-
the time.
Not that you get it done, but you're always ready.
If we weren't on video.
I hee-hawed around a little bit about hunting near Rick, one side of the bedding, he hunts the other. And then I just decided, no, you know what? My time's limited here. Rick, if you're hunting that, you're hunting that. I'm going to go back and cut a track. And if I don't cut a track, I'm going to live with my losses, but I got to take a shot at it. I've only got so much time. So I left Rick there and I headed back.
I left Rick about a half-mile back. We're running real low on time. But I went really scouring back here and I finally cut a big buck track and started following it. This is a big buck. That's a 4-finger track and he's got a big stride. And he goes right into here. There's a bedding area right over there for this wind. I think he's in there. There's another trail going through there that's got some older tracks on it, but this, he went in here today to bed. Those are great tracks going right into here. So I went off to the side here downwind and I shimmied up that tree and I got my stand up there and it's a little tiny tree. The chances of me pulling this off are pretty slim. He may have already been spooked because I'm really close to those beds. We'll see, but I'm going to give it a shot. At least I'm in the game for something big. I'm happy with that track. I do believe that that buck is bedded right at about 100, 120 yards that way. Whether or not he comes out, I don't know. I'm hoping. And I hope he takes the exact same trail because there's a trail in front of me that I can't shoot and one I can, and the one I can's got his tracks going in. So he comes through like this. That's his tracks going into the bedding area. If he comes back that way, I got a good shot. There's another trail in here. The tracks are a little snowed in, but it comes out of the same area. It goes through like that. If he comes up that trail, I got all this brush in front of me. Maybe I can get him to go past me, I don't know, but I have a tendency to think that other trail, even though the tracks are snowed in, there's a lot of tracks on it. I think it's more of a doe trail. I think that buck's using the trail that he's on. Let's hope he didn't hear me coming back here. And let's hope he still has antlers.
Finding that track heading into the bedding was really nice. I knew there was a good one there. I was in the game. That's all a guy can ask for. You just want to be in the hunt. You don't want to be sitting on a spot because it's a spot to sit. You want to be sitting there for a reason. You want to know there's a buck in the area, you're hunting them, or you're targeting an animal that lives here. The buck never came back. He never came out. I never seen him. I could see that whole end of the bedding area. He never came back out. He must have went out the back side. Or just didn't come out. Did I get too close and make some noise? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it's that game of inches you got to play. Hunting's more to me about the path you take than it is about the success. Being in the game is important to me. You notice I have a hard time hunting these spots if I don't believe in them. Somebody went through the bedding area. In reality, I know I could be sitting there, and it's a good channel, it's a good spot, those dogs could run a deer past me. A deer could come running through the woods past me. So I'm not in no way saying you guys shouldn't hunt that way. But for me, it's about the way I hunt. I want to kill that deer on his terms. I want to figure out how he's moving in a chess type game and kill him. It's not about just putting a buck on the wall. It's about the way I do it. I hope you learned some lessons here. I think it was a good video. Let me know what you think. You got any comments? You got any questions? Feel free to post them underneath the video. I read them all. So no deer for me, no deer for Rick. But I got a text from Mario in the tree saying he shot one and needed help. So that's a wrap for my hunt. We're heading over to help Mario. As I'm sure a lot of you know, I read all the comments underneath the videos, and I'm always surprised at some of the comments. There's some pretty whacked out people out there. A couple people got really upset with me last week and said that they didn't want me to mix politics with hunting. And I really didn't get what they meant. I didn't talk politics in videos. I never talk politics in videos. What are they talking about? So I went back and looked, and I had put a Trump hat on. My apologies. It was just a hat though, no reason to melt. But this video, I will not wear the Trump hat just for you guys. I promise.